Good morning and welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. We're glad that you have joined us today, this morning, or whenever you're watching this. Know that you are in the right place at the right time. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Sing with me now. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome here. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. My soul is welcome here. So is yours. My soul is welcome here. Welcome, everybody. My soul is welcome here. Come on, sing with me. My soul is welcome here. 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 Good morning.
Yes, you absolutely are welcomed here today. And in this moment, whether you are listening from the comfort of your home or within this church, just take a moment in your consciousness to create sacred space for our prayer today. Oh, Mother, Father God, we come to you this day knowing that you dwell within each and every one of us. And in this moment, we recognize where we are. We are in a place of renewal and new beginnings. And we ask for your wisdom and your divine guidance as we are co-creators with you, Almighty God. O loving Mother God. And in this moment of new beginnings, we take time to bless our former pastor, Reverend Marge Brown. We ask that you bless her and her new beginnings, that you guide her with wisdom and love, and always bestow compassionate relationships. Bring us to a place of joy and happiness as we move forward. And now, Lord, we turn to the state of our world. We are in a pandemic, as you well know. So for those who are suffering in this moment, Lord, I pray you give them peace and comfort, whether they be suffering from the disease themselves or family members having to struggle with their loved ones. And for the caregivers, Lord, we pray for strength and renewal and stamina. And bless them, Lord, as so much of their time, so much of their life is giving in service to others. And Lord, now for the state of our country and other countries in the world going through upheaval now. We just pray, Lord. We pray the violet flame. Blaze, blaze, blaze by sacred fire. All causes, all cores, not of God's desire. For we are beings of cause alone, and that cause is love, the sacred tone. So, Lord, I pray for compassionate justice, for compassion for all people, and for our country and the entire world, Lord, to be guided with divine wisdom, compassion. And for our church, Lord, in our new beginnings, we come now, Lord, seeking your wisdom, your guidance. We are co-creators, and we are excited for what you have in store for us. We are united, we are joyful, and we are grateful. And so it is, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Sally. Now, let us affirm our abundance. Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. And our mission and vision statements. Our mission. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. Our vision. Centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met. Today is the first Sunday of February. Please join us in celebrating our birthdays.
So happy birthday to all you February babies. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday to you. Dun, da, 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 da. Okay, and we're going to head into our second song. This is a song I wrote. It's on my first album. It's Let Go, Let God. So please sing with me. Those of you who are here, stand up and sing your hearts out. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. When you're feeling downhearted, you can't find the way, don't know where to turn. Just know your journey has started. Don't know what to say, but you know you're not done. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. I choose to live in the moment. Feel the joy down deep in your soul. When every word has been spoken, when the race has been run and your story has been told. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. When you're feeling downhearted, you can't find the way, don't know where to turn. Just know your journey has started. Don't know what to say, but you know you're not done. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Choose to live in the moment. Feel the joy down deep in your soul. When every word has been spoken, when the race has been run and your story has been told, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God, let go, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Oh, 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 yeah. What you get? Let go, let God. Yeah. So every week we are going to do a unity principle of the week. And the first one is the first one. The first principle is God is. There is only one power and one presence, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now we're going to go into the blessing of our youth. So let us bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are. And wherever you are. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, everybody. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Then let it shine right here. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine out there too. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't forget that this week. Let your light shine.
Good morning. So I'm going to read the reading for the Season of Nonviolence, Day 9, February 7th. The thought for today is dreaming. Martin Luther King had a great dream. Follow your dream, follow your heart, follow your inner light. We need men who can dream of things that never were and ask not why. George Bernard Shaw. And I would like to add, we need people. There are those who look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. Robert F. Kennedy. Today, I take ownership of my dream for peace and nonviolence. I will write down and act on at least one thing to honor my dream today. And going on to the daily word, we have inner peace. So it all seems to fit together today. I express the peace of God. Peace, be still. With these words, Jesus claimed his authority and calmed the stormy waters. Following Jesus' example, I too claim authority. In a stressful moment, I center my awareness in the divine presence that lives in me and expresses through me. This divine presence is perfect life, love, and wisdom. It is peace that nothing and no one can disturb. No matter what may be happening around me, at the center of my being, there is always peace. It is an aspect of my divine inheritance, as near as my next thought. I release all fear and tension and embrace the peace of God. As I do, divine peace radiates from the center of my being. It clarifies my thoughts, calms my emotions, and relaxes my body. In every situation, I am a presence of peace. From Isaiah 26:3, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. Today our speaker is Reverend Rick Belous. Many of you know Reverend Rick as a friend. He has been part of our community for at least 20 years and has a dual membership with his church, Unity of Roanoke, where he is the minister. We want to thank Reverend Rick Belous for speaking for us today and the future dates that we will have him with us. Thank you.
Well, good morning, dear friends at Unity of the Seven Hills. I'm speaking to you today from the sanctuary at Unity of Roanoke Valley. It is such an honor to be able to be with you this morning. I know so many of you from our days when we went to Unity of the Seven Hills. For those of you who didn't know me back then, my wife Debbie and I were very fortunate. We had a small second home, as it were, in the mountains in Amherst, and we would come down to Unity of the Seven Hills on Sundays. I remember Reverend Nancy Purcell so well. She was such a great spiritual mentor to me. I remember on her car, she had a bumper sticker which said, "God bless everyone, everywhere, and no exceptions, and no exceptions." I remember so well, taking my little daughter at the time, Rachel. Rachel is now 17 years old and a junior in high school, but back then leading her down those stairs down to the religious school. I remember the monthly potluck dinners. It was like being really with an extended family. I remember the summer barbecues. I remember one in particular, that splash park, the Lynchburg Splash Park had just been open for around a week, and the church had a wonderful barbecue and kids and grown-ups running through that splash park. It was just really, really wonderful. I remember also when talking to Nancy, Reverend Nancy, when I thought the call to ministry was there, and I said to her, the one thing which I'm really concerned about is pastoral counseling. I'm just concerned that, I'm going to listen to people talk for maybe 10 minutes and then say, all right, now that's enough. This is what you need to do here and here. And, that's obviously not the right way to go. Nancy looked at me and said, oh, Rick, it doesn't really matter because they're not going to listen to you anyway. So when I graduated from seminary, from Unity Institute, I was deeply honored when you seriously considered me to be your minister. We went to Unity Center of Tulsa simply because, I mean, I'd always lived on the East Coast, and Debbie and I thought it might be fun to go out west, as it were. And so we did that. You folks are now going through a period of transition. And I would hope that you would keep the faith. You would keep the faith. There's a wonderful story about Myrtle Fillmore. It was during the Great Depression. And the first building at Unity Village, that wonderful, beautiful spiritual oasis, had been constructed. It was that the tower. And as they're building it, one of the main backers, a member of the board, came up to Myrtle Fillmore and said, "Oh, remember, Great Depression, I hope we don't run out of money." And Myrtle said, "I'm not concerned about our running out of money. I'm just concerned that we not run out of faith, that we not run out of faith." And I would ask you also, too, to remember that wonderful parable that Jesus taught about, the parable of the sower. The sower sowed seeds, and a lot of it falls on rocky ground, doesn't take hold. That's not you guys. But he sows other seed, and little shoots start to grow. And they don't really have roots. And what happens is the first storm comes, and those little seeds get blown away. Those little shoots get blown away because they don't have that deep roots. You folks do have those deep roots. Don't get blown away during this transition period, during the search process that you are going through. Keep the faith. Let me tell you a true story. Sue Frankel, who's the president of Unity of Roanoke Valley, she told me, after I was hired and all that, she said, when Reverend Linda first decided to leave, we opened up the search and all that, we got next to no candidates. And she said, we examined ourselves and thought maybe the reason why we didn't get a lot of candidates was because we really hadn't let go of Reverend Linda. And so we regathered. We really blessed and did our best to mentally let go and bless Reverend Linda. And as we did that, our consciousness shifted. And it was then that we started to receive a good number, including you, Rick, we received a good number of really wonderful candidates to carry on. So I would say to you, your consciousness really does matter, and that you have those roots. As you go into the season of transition, lean into those roots, lean into that faith, and don't give up heart. Remember that story about Myrtle Fillmore. Doesn't matter about the money. Don't give up in terms of on faith. And so, as we enter this season, we're now coming into the season for nonviolence. The season for nonviolence was started in 1998 by Arun Gandhi. Arun Gandhi is Mahatma Gandhi's grandson, and Arun is also a social activist in his own right. But he created it to celebrate the philosophy and lives of Gandhi and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Now, Arun Gandhi is one of the chairs of this. That great New Thought minister, Reverend Michael Beckwith, is the other co-chair. It is being convened by the Association for Global New Thought. Many Unity churches are participating. We at Unity of Roanoke Valley, we are blessed to have a beautiful labyrinth, and we are conducting guided prayers and walks and meditations during this period of the season of nonviolence. It runs from January 30th through April 4th, from January 30th through April 4th. January 30th is the date, is the date that Gandhi was assassinated on, and April 4th was the date that Martin Luther King was assassinated. Very interesting about April 4th this year. April 4th is also Easter. And at Unity of Roanoke Valley, that labyrinth walk is going to be a major part of our Easter celebration this year. I have so many wonderful memories about the season of nonviolence. My first home church in Unity was Unity of Fairfax. I remember one particular service, because our chair, we didn't have pews, bolted down or anything. We had chairs which were movable, and usually they were set up theater style, and they were rearranged so they would be a complete circle. And in the circle, we had religious teachers and leaders from so many different traditions, from Protestant, from Catholic, we had people from Judaism, we had Muslims, we had Native American spiritualists, we had shamans. We had Buddhists. It was just an incredible gathering. And I remember from my time at Unity Village, again, remember, is the world headquarters of the Unity movement. I remember they have a labyrinth there where there was a tremendous walk and guided prayer and meditation in honor of the season for creative nonviolence. And so, as we move into this season for nonviolence, I would suggest that this year we truly remember a few things. First, this celebration of the season for creative nonviolence is not about something that happened long ago and far away. It is about right here and right now. That we remember that it is right here and right now. It is about things that we, on an individual level, through a pandemic, through political gyrations, through economic gyrations, it is about right here and right now. The philosophies and lives of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. can really be such shining beacons for what we are experiencing and facing right here and right now. Second, that great progressive biblical scholar Marcus Borg recently made his transition, and it was really because of Unity of the Seven Hills and Nancy Purcell that I met Marcus Borg. Marcus Borg led, a few years ago, a workshop in Lynchburg, and Nancy and a lot of other folks from Unity of the Seven Hills, we all went and met Marcus Borg. It was a wonderful experience. But Marcus Borg suggests that when we look at this season of nonviolence, suggested that we do it at least on two levels. We look at nonviolence on the individual level, and we also look at nonviolence on the social, political, and economic level. On the individual level, let me get back to Reverend Nancy Purcell. When I felt the call to ministry, I went to Reverend Nancy and I said, Nancy, a few years ago at Unity of Fairfax, we had a minister. He was great in many ways, but every 6 months he seemed to explode emotionally. He got, angry at people, really angry at people and all this. And eventually it led to a situation where this minister was asked to leave Unity of Fairfax, and he did. I said, I'm so concerned. I'm still at the point, I was working at United Way at the time. It seems like every 6 months I write an email, send it out, and then 2 minutes later, I'm saying, oh my God, what did I do? If only I could recall the email. That violence, it doesn't have to be physical violence, it could be verbal violence or whatever, stupidity. I would show that every 6 months. And Nancy said to me, Rick, that's the beauty of ministerial school. You'll get a chance to work on that. And little, when the student is ready, the master shows up. Guess one of the courses which I had the first semester, it dealt with this area, it dealt with this issue. It dealt with something called emotional intelligence, EQ, emotional intelligence. And what we were taught was essentially IQ. There's not all that much, you're born with a certain IQ. It can adjust, and it seems to have some social bearing or whatever, but by and large, it's like tinkering at the margins. The beauty about EQ is that it is teachable, and we can learn. We can learn. And I think that's one of the most important things that I learned during my time at seminary. I spent 4 years as the senior minister at Unity Center of Tulsa. As I left Tulsa to come to Roanoke, I inventoried and journaled on my 4 years there. And I went through several not easy situations, but I could say my EQ had really grown. That there were some very difficult situations where I felt that I really had behaved like the grown-up in the room, and that I had sent no emails, which 2 minutes later, oh my God, I wish I could recall them. I think it is so important during this season of nonviolence to examine the nonviolence on the individual level, to look at our EQ. The second level is nonviolence on the social, political, and economic level. There's that question, WWJD, what would Jesus do? A lot of times now it seemed, because it was taken over, I know from my time in Lynchburg, it was taken over by, the Jerry Falwell wing of the world, and et cetera, et cetera. But that's not how WWJD started. It was in a book back, which was first printed in 1896. It was written by Charles Sheldon, who was a congregational minister, and it's called In His Steps. And essentially, it was a very progressive and socially enlightened congregation in this fiction, in this novel, asking itself, what would Jesus do? WWJD. When I was out at Unity Institute, going to seminary there, Topeka, Kansas was not that far. We worked with a food bank out in Topeka, Kansas, so I got to know Topeka, Kansas well. And I actually went to the church where Sheldon was the minister back in the 1890s. It's still there. It's still very active and progressive, and I learned an awful lot about this, about Charles Sheldon. And he was very deeply concerned as he went through the political, economic, and social issues of the day, WWJD, that he didn't see, religion, yes, separation of church and state, but that our values be not just values we express on Sunday. How do we apply these values in the areas and situations that we go through and that our country is going through? I don't think there's one right answer. And people who honestly ask this question, and let's not be parochial, what would Buddha do? What would Lao Tzu do? What would an enlightened spiritual master do? When we can start to ask those questions and be honest and apply the answers to the social, political, and economic questions that we are facing, I think we are really enhancing and living up to what the season for nonviolence is all about. Third, I think sometimes we have this association, it's a weird association, but the association of nonviolence essentially means being a doormat. Nonviolence means being a doormat. And I say no. No. Being nonviolent, being in the tradition of a Gandhi and a Martin Luther King is not being a doormat. They believed in creative nonviolence. Creative nonviolence. And through that creative nonviolence, they were a far more powerful force than what they would have been if they took up guns or arms or started hitting people over the head with baseball bats or anything like that. Think of Gandhi. Think of his march to the sea. And he said essentially to the British, we, the Indian people, are not going to buy your salt anymore. We're going to take the salt from the sea. And so by refusing to buy salt, refusing to buy certain other things, by boycotting, they were an incredibly powerful force. And it was the British who stepped down. What about Martin Luther King? Remember the bus boycott? No, we're not going to sit in the back of the bus. We're not going to sit in your bus at all. We're not getting violent. We're being creatively nonviolent. And that bus boycott was such a powerful force. Such a powerful force. Remember, being nonviolent is not being a doormat. Creative nonviolence is a powerful, positive force for change. And fourth, I would hope that during this season for nonviolence, that we go beyond instant gratification. I think our society so often has a short-run focus. Oh my God, if it doesn't solve the problem in 2 minutes, I mean, that's it, the end of the world or whatever. And that we take a long-run horizon. We take and act out of a long-run framework. Martin Luther King said, the arc of history may be slow to bend, but it bends in the direction of justice. It bends in the direction of justice. I am reading, or just finished reading, a wonderful biography of Frederick Douglass. It won the National Book Award. It was written by Professor Donald Blight, a historian from Yale University. An incredibly wonderful, remember Frederick Douglass was a slave who walked to Pennsylvania. Guy was crafty in doing it, but got to Pennsylvania and freedom and became one of the most powerful voices in the abolitionist movement. So put yourself in Frederick Douglass's boots for a minute. It's 1857. It's 1857, and the Dred Scott decision has just come out from the Supreme Court. The Dred Scott decision was essentially that fugitive slaves, if you were a slave and you ran away from Alabama and you wound up in Boston, hey, any bounty hunter could go up to Boston and grab you back. It doesn't matter what the laws of New England are, or the laws of Massachusetts, could drag you back to Alabama. And also further, Chief Justice Taney, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, wrote that the Constitution in no way ever envisioned African Americans ever being citizens or part of the body politic. That was the Dred Scott decision in 1857. Now put yourself in Frederick Douglass's boots. The Supreme Court, the High Court of the land, has just said that it doesn't matter if you're in a northern free state, you can be hauled back down to the South and re-enslaved. And the Supreme Court has also said that the Constitution never was designed to include you. There's no way that you can ever become a voting citizen in this country. And Frederick Douglass, I mean, you can imagine 1857 and what he felt there. He went through a period where he thought, oh my God, there's absolutely no hope. And actually he thought about leaving the United States and going to Canada. But he said, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. As dreadful as the Dred Scott decision was in 1857, take a little longer time horizon. Remember that that arc of history may be slow to bend, but bends in the direction of justice. 1857, Dred Scott decision. Just 6 years later, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation. And then just 5 years after that, in 1868, comes the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. And it's on that 14th Amendment to the Constitution which has continued to have such an impact on our lives. It was on the 14th Amendment to the Constitution that Brown versus the Board of Education was decided in 1954 in favor of integration. It was in 1973, based on the 14th Amendment, that Roe v. Wade was made, and the decision was made there. And in 2015, it was on the 14th Amendment that Oglethorpe versus Hodges was decided, and same-sex marriages was upheld by the Supreme Court. Don't forget Myrtle Fillmore's comment. She wasn't concerned about the short run, about whether they ran out of money in the short run. She was looking at the long run and was concerned that they not run out of faith. And so, during this season of nonviolence, I would ask you, remember that this is not about long ago and far away. This season of nonviolence is about right here and right now. Remember that during this season for nonviolence, that you can look at nonviolence on at least two levels. On the individual level, where's your EQ? Where could you use some pumping up in terms of your emotional intelligence? And second, looking at it from the social level. Yes, that question, WWJD, applied to social, economic, and political issues, is a very, very good question. That during the season of nonviolence, you remember and do not equate nonviolence with being a doormat. Remember creative nonviolence and the power that it brought to a Gandhi and to a Martin Luther King, and can bring once again to us right here and right now. And that during this season of nonviolence, you get beyond instant gratification. And I would strongly urge you to apply these lessons from the season for nonviolence to what you at Unity of the Seven Hills are going through right here and right now. And remember, there truly is, as that unity affirmation says, one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives. God, the good, omnipotent. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Rick. That was an inspiring message. Really appreciate it. And I certainly remember you from your time here at Unity in the Seven Hills. Your leadership is something we all look at and with wonder. Thank you for your service to Unity. I'm going to sing one of my songs now. Let's do the spiritual walk together. Frankly, we're all doing it together anyway. We're all on our journey, trying to find our way, living and loving together, giving it day by day. Looking a little bit different, but hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all on our journey, trying to find our truth. Living and loving together, there's time for me and you. Watching all the words we say, and hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all just walking each other, hand in hand, a sister and brother, home through this strange new land. 2, 3, 4. We're all on our journey, trying to find our way, living and loving together, giving it day by day. Looking a little bit different, but hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all on our journey, trying to find our truth. Living and loving together, there's time for me and you. Watching all the words we say, and hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all just walking each other, hand in hand, a sister and brother, home through the strange new land. 2, 3, 4. We're all on this journey, trying to find our way, living with each other. It's time for a brand new day, rising and shining together. Yeah, hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. Walk with me now. Walk with that bass. We're all on this journey, trying to find a way, living with each other. It's time for a brand new day, rising and shining together. Yeah, hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. Walk with me now. We're all doing that spiritual walk. John Sankovic says it's got something to do with like praying hands. Could be an Egyptian thing. We are doing the spiritual walk together. So at this time, we're going to go into meditation. We're going to take a song into meditation, and we're going to calm down, take some deep breaths, relax, and think about what it is, mine to give. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you.
Now, as we go into a time of meditation, I ask that you get comfortable in your seat and you feel the support of the earth. of your chair and create a stillness, a sacredness within your space, within your mind. And now take a couple of deep breaths, exhaling all stress and concerns into Mother Earth, and just seeing that stress being absorbed by the roots of the trees and the minerals and the stones in the earth. And just let go. And now I ask you to go to a memory or a vision of something you love and cherish and adore. It could be a pet or a child, a place. But feel in your heart that love and absolute adoration. And now as you feel that adoration, feel that spark within your heart space. Multiply it. Intensify it. Expand it. Let it grow. And now send it out of your heart, up through your head, up into the sky, up into the cosmos, through the Milky Way. See that adoration going up to the great central sun. And in this moment, absorb all that the central sun has to give you. Now bring it back down through the cosmos, through your crown chakra, top of your head, into your heart. And now send it out down through your feet. Feel that adoration going into Mother Earth and absorbing there all the energies from the nodes and the knolls of the earth into the very core of our earth, and all the gifts there of the new energy in the world. Absorb what is yours, what Spirit has to give you. And now bring that back up through the earth, through your feet and back into your heart. And while all these gifts of Spirit expand that adoration, that love, that compassion in your heart. And now imagine it going out through both arms and hands and hugging the planet Earth. Give the earth a big hug with that love and that compassion. All those who are suffering, all those who need it, all those who are lost, all those who need hope, all those who have physical, concrete needs, spiritual needs. Enfold them and love them. now bring that energy back through your fingers, up your arms, and back into your heart space. And now as you're still in this moment where there is no time, where there is no space, remember as we go through this season of transition, right here, right now, ask Spirit, what is it that I am to know? And be still and listen. Ask Spirit, who am I to forgive? Who am I to ask for forgiveness? What is it mine to do? What is it mine to do? What is it that I am to give? What does this new day in my life and this new day in the life of my church look like? Send forth creative ideas. Ideas of compassion where I genuinely share myself with others. Where I genuinely want others to share themselves with me. And as we bring this meditation to a close, I ask you, breathe again. Breathe in and remember that adoration and compassion in your heart. And breathe out the sacred fire of life into our field around us. As we leave the service today, may we take this with us and may we share it with others. And now as we come back into the room, knowing we are protected, knowing we are guided, knowing that we are rooted firmly in your presence, we give thanks. And so it is. Thank you.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well.
And now our prosperity statement. Let us repeat a prosperity statement together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you, God.
Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us this morning, or whenever you're watching this at home. We are so grateful that you're here and you've spent your time with us. Thank you. And we're going to finish by singing together something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All is love inside. We can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful